Welcome to the Total Acre Podcast. I'm your host, C.R. Siebold. This podcast is all about helping growers unlock their potential. We aim to bring listeners agronomic insights, valuable educational interviews, real-world strategies that optimize yield and maximize ROI. This show is going to explore innovative practices, creative strategies, and breakthrough products with people that are shaping the industry, all through engaging and inspiring stories. Who better to learn from than the legendary world champion David Hula, Randy Dowdy, and Alex Harrell? Because in farming and in life, iron always sharpens iron. And the best way to grow or get better is to continually be learning, networking with peers, have access to industry leaders, and the tools, tips, and tricks, and overall quality of information. Knowledge is power. Tune in, hit play. Let's unlock your farm's potential together.
Hey everybody, Bryce Mericka here, Total Acre, Manager of Trial Data and Analytics. Sitting in between Nick Spoden, Director of Agronomy for Lygos, and then Niles McGuire with Lygos, Regional Sales Manager.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yep.
For Ohio? I know you're an Ohio guy.
Yeah, I'm a Buckeye, but I cover a lot of that Central Midwest as well. So
Awesome.
For the company. Yep.
Well, very happy to have you here. Wanted to start off with getting a little bit more information on Lygos and SoTellus as a product.
Yeah.
So just give us a rundown.
Yeah. So I'll start off with the company. So Lygos as a company, we're headquartered in California. We're getting ready to start on some manufacturing in Fort Dodge, Iowa here soon. That's where our manufacturing and everything will be. But what we work on is we work on biodegradable chemistries for the marketplace and bio-derived chemistries for the marketplace, right? So we're looking for alternatives that are high performing to chemicals that don't break it down, or those forever plastics that may not ever really break down fully. So we have chelation products and products in laundry, the home care, personal care, water treatments, ag, and super absorbents. And we're basically helping the marketplace have some high performing chemistries that are 100% biodegradable and bio-derived, so that our marketplace can have safer products and safer choices for the consumers. We are obviously in charge of the Ag Division, or Nick's in charge of the Ag Division as Director of Agronomy, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to cover a territory with Nick, and we get to work with farmers and how SoTellus works in their programs and bring a return on investment and more money to grower pockets, like what we enjoy to do. So,
two key takeaways in that. Biorefinery that we're going to be putting up in Fort Dodge, Iowa, 2028, 2029 will be the opening for it. Again, that will be that bio-based alternative. We'll be launching a first in agriculture. But to me, a second big one that goes hand in hand with all this is, as we scale towards that, our costs are on the way down. Coming up with this bio-based alternative, really being able to improve supply chain, and again, focusing on that core of sustainability, that's key for us. But let's not lose sight of domestically manufactured. We are manufactured here in the US of A. We're supporting our agriculture, our farmers, and trying to grow that more throughout the Corn Belt in the Midwest.
You might want to run for president. That's I've always told you had a broadcaster's voice, but I just got pumped up listening to that. Manufactured in the USA.
You got that right.
So we're actually running trials for you guys on your product, SoTellus. Tell us a little bit about SoTellus. We've got trials out on corn with the split application. We're going in furrow and then again the side dress. And then we've got some trials out foliar on beans. Tell us a little bit about how SoTellus works and why it works so well.
Well, first off, I'm blown away at how great you were with just getting those words out, because I think that we just talked about SoTellus about SoTellus several times. So hats off on that one. But no, it's been a lot of fun. Like I said, this is kind of our third year, but really second year from a commercial standpoint, and getting a lot more products out. Ton of trials, over 160 across the U.S. right now. All crops, really trying to throw the kitchen sink at this, just like we did last year. Last year was about application, timing. We're really trying to improve off of that, find the sweet spot, but now it's expanding into some of these other crops and figuring out how can we impact other operations.
Yep. So you and I actually went out to Iowa a couple of weeks ago, right? Visit with Austin Blair, a trial grower within the Total Acre network. Like what we were seeing on tissue samples, it's a real world scenario. He had to bump back a nitrogen application on that. Just talk about the versatility with SoTellus. making fun of the way I enunciate SoTellus, but that's your product. Let's hammer it home because what we found within Total Acre, especially, works really well with nitrogen applications, but also getting some micronutrients into the plant.
100%, yeah. And you know what? I'm going to make it easy because Niles, I feel like, calls this one out probably the best of our team. So why don't you take on this one?
Yeah. So a lot of the things that first, kind of tell you what we've been seeing out of SoTellus is I want to educate again on kind of how it works a little bit too. So SoTellus has a CEC of 100 and it's got a strong negative charge. So basically our polymer is going to have that chelation power up front, and then it breaks down into an amino acid that then further feeds and stimulates the soil and that microbiome surrounding it, right? So what we've been seeing is great results with nitrogen applications, helping hold some nitrogen where it needs to be, and also free up other nutrients that's going to enhance nitrogen uptake, enhance all these other things that we're wanting to enhance root development, growth, all of that. But then we've also, as far as the flexibility of the product, we have since learned and discovered that and further driving that flexibility, finding that foliar has been really, really good for us in soybeans and on corn, and helping, just essentially helping with all overall plant health and everything that we're doing. But as far as those micros go, that you had mentioned a little bit ago, helping with that micronutrient uptake, because we have that negative charge, we're going to have that really strong attraction, anything that's positively charged around it. And then you have enough CEC within that product to then go out and grab some more of those negatively charged nutrients too. So we're really holding everything where we want it to hold it in that root zone, or where that plant can get the most out of that product and out of those nutrients.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to throw you up a softball here. If you had a choice for application timings on each of these crops, we actually just worked through a winter wheat trial with you guys. Good results on the spring application at green up of nitrogen on winter wheat.
Yep.
But if you had a choice, across the country, things may change, right? Environments are different, but as a whole, what would you say is your targeted application windows for each of these crops, corn, soybeans, and winter wheat?
You say that's a softball, but it should be. But it's a blessing that question is actually a little more challenging than just a softball, because we have found that we're so flexible, and we have found that we've had really consistent results across so many different types of applications that it's not quite as a toss-up of an answer as I would love to have. But that being said, that's a great problem to have. Anytime, I'm a big plant development guy, anytime we can go early at the root zone, or like an early side dress with a wide drop, or like an early vegetative foliar pass, I love those. That's personal opinion. Because we've seen a lot of great results there. We've also seen a lot of great results when paired with biologicals, whether that be in furrow or all the way through an R3 biological fungicide application, things like that.
Yeah.
So there's, me personally, personal preference with my farmer hat on, I like to have it early, banded at a root zone, things like that. But our flexibility has been second to none.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as easy of an answer as.
No, that's fair. I said softball, but it was probably a Paul Skeen slider in there. But
Little hook.
yeah, a little hook. But compatibility, like you're saying, is a big deal. Talk about how it mixes with other products, because this could be a stacked approach. It could work really well with not only nutrition but biologicals, like you said.
Yeah.
What have you been seeing on that front? Because that's the next phase.
That's a really good question. And that's part of the fun, really, that we like talking to with the flexibility of it, obviously, as Niles alluded to. But to me, I think, one thing I really like to look at is full programs, right? And obviously, we want to talk about SoTellus fitting into any operation with that flexible pass, but more so the synergies. As a kid, I always laughed and joked about it that there's room in the sandbox for us all to play, right? So thinking on that and how do we carry that forward, I think there's a lot of principles from that I've learned in agriculture where how do these products interact with each other, and where can we look to maximize, as well as still having that efficient pass in mind. That's something that SoTellus can bring to the table with its compatibility.
Absolutely. Yeah, thinking a little bit ahead, guys that want to try the product, do you have a performance guarantee on this product?
I'm glad you called that one out, Bryce. We do, yeah. And that's the beauty of it too. We've talked a lot about this flexible application, but it's also in the amount that you can apply. We're finding successes in as little as 1 quart rate, while our recommended rate is at 2 quarts. We're seeing guys that are splitting this out and looking at a couple of passes and really maximizing against some of those applications. But yeah, I think now as you go ahead and finish
so our 2X, so our program to help guys feel really comfortable about, trying our product at a large scale, investing into what our company is doing, investing into their farm with SoTellus. Our current program is a 2X ROI guarantee. So basically, if a grower invests $10 an acre with our product, they should net $20 an acre off of our product, or they just get their money back. So, that does come with some minimum requirements, things like that. But it's been really great. Our averages across our last few years that we've been commercial, it's been anywhere between 3 and 7x return on investment. We were around that 4.5 mark on corn over 13 states last year. So, yeah, we're extremely confident in the bold program that we've put out there, but it's been really good. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So if guys wanted to learn more about the product, where to find it, where to purchase it, the performance guarantee, where can they go? I can talk about your contact information here, but your wife might not like me to share that. But if they want to find more out about SoTellus, where do they find it?
Yeah, so Lygos.com, and then, basically find the Agronomy tab on the website, and then you can download our ebook there. Has a lot of our data, how the technology works, some great information along there. We also have all of our distributor partners on the website where you can figure out where to buy, things like that. And then you feel free to reach out to us. There is a form that you can fill out on the website that goes directly to ourselves, Nick or I, or other great people on our team, and then we can give you a call. So
awesome. That sounds good. Again, Niles McGuire, Nick Spoden, thank y'all for jumping on this today. Really appreciate it, and always look forward to having you guys on.
Thanks for coming out, Bryce.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in today to this episode of the Total Acre Podcast. Hey, if you enjoyed it, you liked the conversation, be sure to subscribe. You know the drill. Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Go give us a click, give us a like. Until next time, though, keep pushing forward. We hope that you found something unique, something powerful here that might help you unlock your farm's potential. We look forward to seeing you next week. Be safe. Talk more here soon on the next Total Acre Podcast.